Once upon a time, in the heart of Lagos, lived a wealthy and strikingly handsome man named Shah Williams. He was the CEO of Williams Tech Solutions, a leading technological company in the city. Despite his immense wealth and influence, Shah was a private and enigmatic figure, shrouded in mystery. Unlike other affluent men who flaunted their riches, he preferred to stay in the background, letting his success speak for itself. Because of his elusive nature, not many people knew what he looked like, and countless women fantasized about capturing his heart. His assistant, Jay, was his mouthpiece in public, and many women sought Jay's friendship, hoping to get closer to Shah Williams. Among them was Tenny, a well-known socialite with an extravagant lifestyle and expensive taste. Though she had never met Shah, she was obsessed with the idea of becoming his wife. Tenny had dated several wealthy men before, but none of them had the allure of Shah Williams, the man no one could touch. Determined to win him over, Tenny set her sights on Jay. She charmed him, flirted with him, and even made him fall deeply in love with Heronley to extract information about his boss. Unaware of her true intentions, Jay fell for her completely. One evening, while having dinner, Tenny finally asked the question she had been waiting to ask. Pouring Jay another glass of wine, she said sweetly, "Tell me, what kind of woman does Shah like?" Jay chuckled as he sipped his drink. "Ah, Tenny, even I don't fully know that. My boss is very private. But one thing I do know is that he doesn't like flashy women." Tenny's heart skipped a beat. "Flashy women?" she echoed. Jay nodded. "He always says he wants a simple woman, someone who doesn't care about his wealth." Tenny's mind raced. If Shah liked simple women, then she would become the simplest woman he had ever seen. The very next day, Tenny transformed her entire image. Gone were the designer dresses, flashy jewelry, and expensive wigs. She replaced them with simple outfits and braided her hair. Manipulating Jay even further, she convinced him to introduce her to Shah, not caring that Jay was deeply in love with her. When Jay finally realized what she had done, the pain was unbearable. One evening, after Tenny had successfully charmed her way into Shah's life, Jay confronted her. "Tenny, I need to ask you something," he said quietly, his voice heavy with emotion. Barely looking up from her phone, she replied, "What is it?" Jay hesitated before speaking. "Did you ever care for me at all? Or was I just a stepping stone for you to get to Shah?" Tenny finally looked at him, her expression indifferent. "Jay, don't be dramatic." Jay's heart pounded. "Dramatic? Tenny, I loved you. I believed in you." Tenny sighed, rolling her eyes. "Did you really think I would end up with someone like you? You're just an assistant, Jay. You were useful, but that's it." Jay felt like the air had been knocked out of him. He stared at her, unable to believe what he had just heard. "You used me," he whispered, his voice breaking. "And you never cared." Tenny shrugged. "It's nothing personal. You should have known your place." Jay's heart shattered into a million pieces. He had given her his love and trust, and in return, she had trampled on it. As he walked away from her that night, something inside him changed. The love he had once felt for Tenny was gone, replaced by intense anger. Jay's twin sister, Pedu, was deeply disappointed when she heard what Tenny had done. Unlike Tenny, Pedu valued honesty, kindness, and hard work. She had always tried to guide her sister toward the right path, but Tenny had been blinded by greed and ambition. "Tenny, how could you do this to Jay?" Pedu asked, her voice filled with disappointment. Tenny laughed in her face. "Why are you taking his side?" "Because Jay is a good man, and you're a liar and a deceiver. You've deceived everyone, including yourself." Tenny rolled her eyes. "Oh please, Pedu, you're just jealous because I'm about to secure the life of a billionaire's wife while you're stuck in your boring life." "Is that what you think?" Pedu asked quietly. Tenny smirked. "Yes, Pedu, that's exactly what I think. You've always played the saint while I go after what I want. But let me tell you something, life isn't fair to good girls. It favors those who know how to play the game." Pedu sighed deeply. "Do you even love Shah?" Tenny paused for a moment before bursting into laughter. "Love? Who needs love when you have money?" Days passed, and Tenny succeeded in making Shah fall deeply in love with her. She played her role perfectly humble, loving, and supportive. She attended charity events, pretended to love reading, and even spoke about wanting a quiet life away from wealth. Shah was completely smitten, but Pedu and Jay watched in silence, knowing the truth, and they believed Tenny wouldn't be able to keep up the act for much longer. What Tenny didn't know was that Shah's mother, Madame Ron Williams, had her suspicions. Using her wealth and connections, she disguised herself as a maid and infiltrated Tenny's household to see her true character. And what she discovered was worse than she had imagined. One fateful afternoon, Madame Ron witnessed Tenny in a fit of rage. When she accidentally slipped on a wet floor, she screamed at the elderly woman, calling her useless, brainless, and even shoving her face into a bucket of dirty mop water. Madame Ron, humiliated but determined, knew she could not allow this woman to marry her son. The next evening, Shah invited Tenny to a private dinner at his family estate. She arrived expecting a proposal. Instead, she found Madame Ron standing beside Shah. "Shah, what is my maid doing here?" she stammered. "Maid?" Shah repeated, tilting his head. "Meet my mother." Tenny's world spun. "No, this can't be possible." "Oh, but it is," Madame Ron said, stepping forward. "And I saw everything. The fake humility, the cruelty, the lies." Tenny turned to Shah in desperation. "Please, you have to believe me." But Shah only raised his hand, silencing her. "I trusted you," he said coldly. "I thought I had finally found a woman who loved me for me." Jay stepped forward, clapping slowly. "Well played, Tenny. But you see, I'm the real CEO of Williams Tech Solutions." Tenny gasped, realizing she had spent her time chasing after the wrong man. She fell to her knees, pleading for a second chance, but Jay merely looked at her with pity. "You did this to yourself." As security escorted her out, her screams of regret echoed in the night. The next morning, the news was filled with headlines of her downfall. The socialite who had schemed and failed, her reputation shattered, she was abandoned by all. Meanwhile, at the Williams estate, a new chapter began. Jay and Pedu, drawn together by honesty and respect, found love where it had always truly belonged. The lesson? Love is not about wealth or power, is about sincerity, kindness, and true connection. And in the end, honesty will always triumph over deception.